What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of epic conversations. This is the place of epic conversations, and I'm the host of them. And remember that you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. And I was the 2018 award winner, Innovation Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. Thank you very much. Have I had this gentleman on the Dr. Vibe show before? I don't. It may have been back twice. Okay. But let me just give you a little story about Claude. No, I'll give you a little story about Claude. There was another live streaming platform a few years ago called Blab. And I think it was on a Friday night. I went on it and I said, okay. And this gentleman, Claude Diamond, was the first person to say, hey, what's going on? And Claude has always been, he's, even though I'm not directly mentored by Claude, I'm indirectly mentored by him. He has been a great associate, a great mentor. I regard him as a leader. And he is here today. He's going to share a little about himself because I think it's the first time he's been really on the Get Vocal platform about some about himself. Yeah. But a great subject these days, how to develop a successful home business, lifestyle, and personal culture. And I always like to say, Claude, it's always a pleasure to have you on. And also, it's always a pleasure to know that you and your family are doing fine. So thank you so much for taking time out of your positive, productive schedule today.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm a big fan. I watch your show all the time. You know
that. You do. I know you do. And I watch yours as much as I possibly can. And I've been blessed enough to come into some of your teachings. And actually, you were kind enough to have me in on one of your teachings a few years ago.
That's right.
I remember that. And I was so humbled. And people are watching this live. People are listening to this live or watching on the replay. You're going to learn at least one thing that's going to move you forward. I really believe in this conversation.
Maybe two or three.
Okay, we'll start with two or three. Claude doesn't go on the low bar. He always goes, he levels up. So Claude, thanks again. And can you share a little bit about yourself to our audience? Because many people don't know, but they should know who you are, in my opinion.
My name's Claude Diamond. I'm originally from New York City, New Jersey. I now live in California. I'm in Colorado right now, in Winter Park, Colorado. We're 10,000 feet up. I don't know if you can see out the back window there. It's a little bright. We just had snow yesterday, believe. Here is Memorial Day weekend in the States, and we're still getting snow up here at 10,000 feet. California, San Diego, North Carolina. We live in different places. I love working from home. I hope we talk a lot about that today. I'm a horrible employee. I'm probably unemployable. I love, as I like to say, teaching people how to give good phone, how to get on the phone and just talk to people and sell their products. I started out in real estate. I'm a recovering attorney. I worked for corporate America and stuff like that. Never was happy. Sitting in my car, sitting in traffic, spilling coffee between my legs, stopping short. And I never liked really working for other people. Maybe I just don't play nice with others. I don't know what it was. And I always wanted to have a certain amount of security in my business. I was broke a lot in my life. Being up at 2 a.m. and looking at the ceiling and say, Lord, how am I going to pay for this rent? I don't like being broke. Who does? And I followed the rules. I went to college, business school. I went to law school. I did all those things, and I still was always broke. And got into real estate. Did a lot of research and stuff on it, and still wasn't moving ahead. And I met this one gentleman. His name was Max. He was my mentor. I'm real big on mentoring. I run a mentoring business now. And this one gentleman, it was one of those epiphanies, revelations. Reader's Digest used to call it my most interesting person I ever met. And this man would get on the phone and he would make magic happen. He'd make more money in one phone call than I'd make it a whole year at a corporate job I didn't like. And I said, I've got to get this secret sauce from this guy. And I did. I was basically his gopher. All these degrees and everything like that didn't matter. I had to fetch him coffee and do whatever I needed to do to be around a person who was so much smarter than me. And that was the beginning of a pattern of learning how to sell, how to be successful in real estate, how to persuade and influence people without being overbearing or intimidating or anything, just having nice adult-to-adult conversations. From there, I built up a real estate business, which I'm still in. And from there, I kind of evolved into a consulting, coaching, mentoring business, where my real focus is teaching people the skills to give good phone, to be real comfortable in their own skin. That my daughter paid me the highest compliment I've ever received. She said, "Dad, you're just comfortable in your own skin." And I was kind of a shy little chicken guy, at one time in my life. You can ask my wife if she walks in the room. And today, I work real hard to be a better listener because I got a grande boca. But I love sales. I think it's the $1 million skill. And I teach a system called G.U.T.S. I have 9 books I've written. And we're going to give one away free to your audience tonight. We're not going to sell anything. We're just going to give away a book for free. All I have to do is go to my webpage, claudediamond.com, and they have to click a little box that says free book, and they have to type in "I love Dr. Vibe," and I'll send them a free book.
I like that offer. I love that offer. I want to go back a little bit and thanks for sharing some of that background, some things. When did you know that it was time to get out of the corporate world and be on your own, have your own business? Was there a moment or a series of moments that, you know what, I got to get out of here? Do you remember that moment?
Yeah, I just, I remember when I worked really hard at this one company. It was in New Jersey. It was called Swift Premium, and I wanted to make a difference in the world. So I sold hot dogs in the South Bronx of New York City.
There we go.
I worked really hard, and I was the new guy. I had to prove something. So I knocked on a lot of doors, talked to a lot of people, signed up contracts through the supermarkets and the little mom and pop groceries. And I came back, and when it was 6 months later, my review time, and I thought I was going to get a really good raise and everything. And the boss gave me basically the equivalent of I think it was an extra $5 a month, something like that. Oh. And I said, "Is that all there is? Is that all?" Because I wasn't getting that much money to begin with. It was just about poverty level what I was getting paid. And he said to me the most brilliant thing that changed my life at that minute. He said, "Claude, if you're looking to get rich, you're working for the wrong company."
Honest.
And I went from a kid who was really motivated, wanted to prove himself, to like, oh my gosh, here I am. I'm working as hard as I can. I'm successful. I'm doing what I'm told. I'm doing it very well. And I'm still broke. Where's the beef here? This is America, right?
Yeah, exactly. So then, okay, so you made that transition. Now I'm thinking in my mind, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's entrepreneurship and there's a home business. When you said it was time to go on your own, did you look at entrepreneurship first or having a home business?
I think they're mutual. I don't see either one as I wanted the freedom of my own business.
Yeah.
And I always loved working from home. I'm a homebody.
Right.
This is my office here in Colorado. Yep. And then in the next office, my wife's office, there's a futon there. That futon calls me every day at 4:30. I can take, that's like the sirens on the rocks. I can go take a nap over there if I want to. I mean, I love that freedom. If I want to have a cup of good coffee, I don't have to go to a Starbucks and spend $5. Claudia my wife makes a great cup of coffee upstairs. Absolutely. So the definition of a home business is better coffee and cleaner bathrooms. I mean, I just, it's a thing. It was right for me. I wanted the real word is freedom. What do we all want? We want freedom. And when I say freedom, I don't mean that I need a lot of bling bling and a Lamborghini in the garage or anything. I just want the freedom not to worry about paying the rent, at one time in my life. I just want the freedom so I can go to bed and not think about money. Did you ever have that in your life, Doctor?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
It's not a good time, is it? It's stressful. I think God put me in those positions at one time in my life. So I understand today when people come to me and say, "Claude, we're struggling here. We need to change something." I want to understand that because I lived it.
Yeah, you have evaluated experience.
Yeah.
There you go. So when you started your home business, what were some of the initial challenges of starting a home business? And do you think with the people you mentor now, are they any different now than when you were starting your home business?
Oh, that's a good question. The hardest thing about working from home, for me, was discipline and skill sets. The discipline is you got to get up every morning, and you can't just sleep till 10, 11 o'clock. You've got to get up early. You've got to work. You got to. I was in real estate. I'd have to go look at properties. I'd have to do real estate. And this was before internet and stuff. You had to go through the library. You had to go to the library. You had to go to. Remember the old micro? I'm going to show my age now. Remember a microfiche machine?
Yeah,
it's before your time. You're younger than me. Where you put that little microfilm thing on a viewer to look up properties and things. So I had to go to the library.
Yeah,
we used landlines then. I still have it. I still have one. That was before we had these wonderful remote control devices to the universe, the cell phone. The cell phone was like a brick at one time, if you recall.
Yeah.
And everything. So I learned.
If I just can interrupt for a second. It's interesting you mentioned you have a landline, because I was doing a live stream the other day, and I have a landline phone.
Look, it still gets.
And there was a member. Yeah, there was a member of the audience, a young guy, going, "Is that a landline?" So why do you still have a landline phone in this world of digital technology, the cell phones? So, because a lot of times I tell people, sometimes you got to observe the masses and do the opposite. So why are you still having a landline today in your home business?
For practical reasons and for fear. I'll start with the fear first. Remember, we had a thing. My brother lives in New Jersey. They had a thing called Hurricane Sandy.
Yes.
4 or 5 years ago, I think it was.
Yes. Yep.
It's Hurricane Sandy, where my brother lived in. My brother, he's a former police officer for 30 years, and then he has a home business. And literally after this storm, there was no TV, there was no cable or Wi-Fi, there was no cell service, and the towers were knocked out. He didn't have electricity. Parts of New Jersey didn't have electricity for 4 or 5 weeks. Cell service was not returned for 2 weeks. Everything. But guess what? One thing worked, and he continued to have a business and make money.
Landline.
This is my fire escape, my emergency. I live in a place that gets here in Colorado. This winter we got 329 inches of snow. When you get a lot of snow, sometimes electricity goes out and stuff like that. The good old analog phone, I believe, I'm not an engineer, but I believe it has its own dedicated electric.
Yes, you are right. They do. The phone companies have their own dedicated power source. Very true.
Right. That was that side. The practical side is, and a lot of times I will get on a cell. I love cell phone. I love VoIP, the internet. We're on VoIP right now. But sometimes, do you ever get a cell phone call? The quality, you're having trouble hearing people. The quality, that little bitty speaker, it's hard to hear. Yep. Sometimes I will go to the landline and call people up, and the quality of a landline, because of the size of the speaker and the microphone, is superior to the little microphone and speaker on a cell phone sometimes.
Well, this is fantastic. I'm just going to interrupt for a second because we have some wonderful people that are joining us. So I just want to shout them out. On Periscope, we have Kathy and Dryer Buzz from Atlanta blogger. I am humbled. Yolanda, thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, put them in the chat in Periscope. And one of the great fans and supporters of the Dr. Vibe Show, Divine Right. She's saying it's a great topic, and she says, LOL about having a home business, cleaner bathrooms and great coffee. She goes, LOL. And she says, when the power goes out or down, that landline will still function. She said, my mom was able to reach me during 9/11 because she called me from her landline onto mine. Cell service was down.
Yeah. So I think you said it, doing the opposite sometimes, doing the unconventional. I do something today that I think where a lot of people have lost the skill set. And that's just to talk to you, what you and I are doing. We know each other for a while, so this is easy. But can we talk to strangers? Mom said don't talk to strangers when we were little kids going out to play. And today in the big bad world, if you want to make money, you've got to talk to everybody and make them like you and trust you. And that's a skill set that we've gotten away from. You asked me the difference between yesterday and today. People don't have that maybe that outgoing nature to engage strangers. I challenge myself every day to speak to new people. If I go to the Starbucks or the Walmart, I talk to the greeter. Hi, how are you? How do you like being a greeter? Did you ever make friends? Did you ever get a date from being a greeter? I'll engage people. I practice these skills. I teach these skills. Yep. I've written books about how do you engage people? How do you get them to like and trust you? Mm-hmm. And we need to learn these. We need to get back to this skill set. You cannot run at least in my world, you can't run a successful. My wife and I have built this business. It's a successful business. It's given us a very wonderful comfort level. And I owe it to basically learning from my mentor how to treat people, how to speak to them, how to engage them, how to make them feel like I'm not just trying to overwhelm them and put my hand on their wallet, but get them to see the value of the product or service I'm selling. That's a skill set that you only get by learning psychology and being a thespian. Thespian's not a dirty word. It means actor.
Let me ask, and going back to the home business journey, when you first started, were there any critics?
Oh, sure. I first started, I used to write for a magazine, articles on real estate in San Diego, where I still live. And the gentleman who was the publisher of this very well-known real estate magazine, I said, I want to start mentoring people myself. I get a lot of people who read my articles and stuff. It was before internet. Oh, this wonderful thing. By the way, today is the best time in the world to start your own business. And
we'll parking lot that and get you to comment on that.
Yeah.
We'll parking lot on that.
You see, I digress sometimes.
No problem. I know you're good.
But, getting... where was I? I lost my track. Oh my gosh.
We were talking about, we did lose our track. We get so excited when we share. We were talking about, critics. When you start your home business.
Boy, I had a moment there. It's the altitude.
No problem. People have to realize Claude and I are like this live and offline. So this is the way we roll.
Yeah, I need a little bit more of this, But the publisher, very successful in his own right, he said, the mentoring business. And I said, I want to start working. I don't want to do one of these big audience Anthony Robbins things. I just want to work one-on-one with people and teach them all the dumb things I've done so they can avoid it and learn the smart things that have given me this lifestyle. And he said, that'll never work.
Wow.
And that kind of had the opposite effect on me.
Yes.
Maybe I'm stubborn like a mule or something, but I said, I'm going to make it work now just because he said it wouldn't work. And funny thing is, it did work. And a year later, he said to me, could I sit in on one of your mentoring sessions? True story.
It's like one of my mentors a few years ago. Sometimes success is the best revenge.
It is a wonderful revenge. It is a wonderful revenge. And I think, we have to do things. We have to look at things differently sometimes. I have a little thing on my wall here from Steve Jobs. It says, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. I think we're too dependent we have all this wonderful technology, which I embrace and use. I have my Apple Watch. I have my iPad. I have my MacBook Pro here and everything. But I think we need to get back to something simple, like having to communicate with one person and say, when they get off the phone, what do they want to say about Claude Diamond? Hey, he was a nice guy. I feel good about him. My wife said she trusts him. That's a foundation for building a lot of real estate business if that's what you're in, or whatever you sell.
Just you're talking about the real estate business. Why did you choose to go into real estate?
Everybody needs a place to live. It seemed to me we all need food, water, oxygen, and a place to live. It was one of the basics of life. We all need shelter. And when I was a kid, I started looking in the supplements in the paper and everything, and I'd see these homes for all the money, a lot more than most people make in a year, or what these homes sell for. Still true today. And I said, oh my gosh. And I asked my dad what he paid for his home. We had a little cottage, a little home in New Jersey when we moved from New York City. And that home cost him, believe it or not, like $10,000. And he bought it through Macy's in New York City. You could actually get pre-built homes through the department store, and they'd come out to the lot and build it for you. And that home at the time, when I asked him about it, went up to $45,000, $50,000. And I said, oh my gosh, Dad. In those days, people were making $10,000 a year and stuff like that when I was a kid. And I said, oh my gosh, that's 4 or 5 times a year what people are making. And I started getting that real estate fever.
Excellent. Lifestyle. Again, I'll roll back to when you started your home business. Was lifestyle a big driver and motivator for you to get your home business to be successful?
Lifestyle. When you say lifestyle, do you mean bling bling and toys and fancy cars?
No. I everyone has a different definition of lifestyle, okay. But I like your definition of lifestyle because it isn't all about the money. It's more about freedom. I think the freedom part is freedom. If someone asks me about Claude Diamond, give me 3 or 4 things. One of the things that's very core to him is freedom.
Yeah, I could be the man I wanted to be. I could be the husband I wanted to be. I could be the father. I didn't want to be an uncle to my children where I leave early in the morning when they're still in bed and I come home at night and they're back in bed again and asleep. Or I'm so tired and exhausting, I just come home and bitch and moan to my wife or something like that. I loved working from home. I said that before. To me, working from home, I get more done in one day, doctor, than I think a lot of people get done in a couple days, maybe a week. I found something. I always considered myself an undisciplined person. But when I had my own home business, I found I became very disciplined because I had the pressure on myself. I worked like hell to make this work. The freedom that you asked, the freedom that I wanted was to be free, to be the man I wanted to be, to take care of my family and my responsibilities and not have to go to bed and think about money, like bills and things like that. Maybe that's oversimplistic, but that was my world.
No, that's really good. Just want to share on Periscope Dryer Buzz. Yolanda's saying she misses dial tone. And she goes, can you still call? And hey, that's a good question. Can you still call an operator on a landline? I would think so.
They charge you extra for it, though, now.
Yes, they do. And I also want to thank Yolanda for retweeting this conversation to her thousands of Periscope followers.
Thank you, Yolanda.
Yeah, appreciated and not taken for granted. So we are in a time now where the home business thing is bigger than ever.
Yes.
But what are when people come to get mentorship about home business, what are some of the common challenges you're hearing from them or they're encountering? Because they come to you and say, Claude, my home business, whether it's real estate, and I know people in other areas come to you for mentorship. Sure. What are some of the challenges you hear from people these days when it comes to home business?
Too many distractions, too many shiny objects. Too many. I spoke with somebody today. Oh, I just spoke with this salesman at this one guru organization. They said they have this new software that I need to have and everything. And I said, well, what will that software do? Oh, it'll keep me organized and everything like that. And I said, but will it help you to make money today? How many people did you speak to today? I get back to the basics, doctor.
Yeah, you do.
I do.
But actually, if you're, and I know you do it all the time, I'd like you to share some of your basics with people here because they need to hear it. They really do, and that's what makes me and yourself in my mind stand out from many others. So, anything you'd like to share about your basics, I'd really appreciate our viewers and listeners to hear.
I don't want to sound like a traditional salesperson. I teach people to just be comfortable in their own skin, to be themselves. They don't have to be Claude Diamond or Dr. Vibe or walk on hot coals. They just have to be themselves and understand and use the word empathy. What is that other person thinking and feeling? And can I make a connection and connect with those people? I studied a lot of different, besides learning from my mentor, how to give good phone, how to talk to people. In a civilized adult, what we call in transactional analysis, it's an area of psychology by a famous Canadian, Dr. Eric Byrne, by the way. And Dr. Burns said we go through different ego states of parent, adult, child. I studied that area of psychology. Sometimes I'm the adult, sometimes I'm the parent, sometimes I'm the child. And I wanted to learn when they're in these different areas. I studied Pavlov, conditioned response. I studied Dr. Cialdini. I'm a big fan of Dr. Robert Cialdini, the psychology of persuasion. And I wanted to teach these methods to people so that they could get on the phone and be the doctor like you are, no matter what they sell. I work with people in financial services, car sales, advertising, real estate, a lot of people in real estate, all different kinds of areas. And I want to teach the fundamentals of persuasion and influence in this year, in the modern times. And as I said before, I think we've gone away. We've lost that skill set. We think we can text and email and robo-dial our ways to success, when sometimes you just want to talk to another person who will listen and care. And they'll do business with you. People want to buy stuff, but they want to buy stuff from somebody who gives them accountability and good value. Why is that so hard in 2019? For a lot of people, it is.
Excellent. Just an update here. Divine Wright on the YouTube side has shared this conversation live on Facebook and Twitter. And one of your favorites and a favorite of mine, I have to see him on the screen sometime again soon. Sean Osby.
Sean the Legend Osby from Omaha.
Yes. He's definitely watching this on YouTube. So Sean, always a pleasure. If you have any questions, comments, I am monitoring in real time on YouTube. So always great stuff.
Tell Sean to keep away from those tornadoes. They've had a lot of tornadoes down there.
Exactly. I'm hearing you. And also a shout out on the Get Vocal platform to Jim Bob. Thank you for jumping in today. Claude, has in your mentorship business over the years, has the demographic changed? Do you see, like when you first started out, what did your clientele look like? And what is it looking like now? Is there been a big difference in the range of clientele?
Yeah. When I first started, everybody looked like me.
Okay.
And today, I would say 50% or more of my clientele are minorities, African Americans, Latin Americans, a lot of younger people too. Also, I have clients I'm working with. I have one fella. He started with me when he was 18 or 19 years old. He's from one of the Eastern European countries, one of the stand countries. Kazakhstan or something. And today he's not only doing, he has a real estate license. He's 21 now, and he has his own business. He just opened up his own coffee shop in a mall. He's only 21 years old.
Wow.
So it's what I've seen is that the minorities are getting it. They're going into their own business. And I love being a part of helping people get there. Because the dream that'll make everybody happy, that'll get us all to where we want to be, is getting economic success. Sorry if I sound like a capitalist now, but I really think that's a solution for a lot of the problems we have in society, getting people out of poverty.
True. Divine Wright on YouTube has a question. She asks, do you face any current obstacles now? I heard about discipline, distractions, a futon in the next room, LOL. And how do you regain focus when you're distracted?
A great question. Thank you.
Yeah, it is.
I have the biggest. I love what I do. We haven't used the P word, passion. You've gotta. And Barbara I think it's Barbara Sinatar. Do what you love. The money will follow. It's a great book from the 80s, I believe. And she said, and so true. I love what I do. I could have retired years ago. Word of honor. I as long as God leaves me on this planet, I'm going to work. I work 8 days a week because I love what I do. My wife complains. She says, well, if you're not going to retire, that means I can never retire. I come downstairs here to my office. I have a preset appointments with my existing clients. I have new calls I have to make with hopefully future prospects and clients. I do interviews and things like this, which I love what I do. And the thing of, and the money's important too, no doubt. But if you do if you got to do something you love, if you can put if you can put passion together with economic reward, man, that's pretzels and beer, that's peanut butter and jelly. That's the stuff life is made of. A job just to have money, to me, would be very, I do the joke, if you offered me to be I'm going to offend septic tank cleaners or toll collectors now, I could never do a job like that. You could pay me hundreds of thousands a day or what, I wouldn't be happy. And I think there's something about being happy. Work is not a 4-letter word to me. It's an embodiment of doing what I love, what I do. And I try to get people, do something you love, not just for the money. Put the two together. Whatever, it's a service that helps people, or a product that you believe in that makes people's lives better or saves them time or something, or just helping people get in and out of real estate. You've got to have a passion for it. It can't just be a job. Nice. You made me emotional with that question. Who asked that great question?
That was Divine Right. I know when you make your offer, she'll probably be the first person who goes for your book, because she's on it. And she's a wonderful, wonderful lady. Absolutely beautiful lady. Now, when you also in our title here talk about personal culture, what do you mean by personal culture?
As it relates to business, you mean, or help me out with that?
Because the title of our conversation is, let me just pull it up here, how to develop a successful home business, lifestyle, and personal culture.
Okay.
So in the world of running a successful home business to yourself, was personal culture something you were thinking at the beginning, or was it developed over a period of time? And how important is it in running a successful home business?
It developed over time, and the personal culture came out of my belief system, the things that work for me, the Claudeisms, I call it, little things like that, give good phone, things like that I talk about. The personal culture came out of, I wanted to share people. I don't think I'm anybody special. I'm the former world's worst salesperson, doctor. I couldn't give away money on the street corner. I was so shy and withdrawn. And, deep inside of me, there's a little kid sucking his thumb with a blanket and a flashlight somewhere. Okay. And and sales helped me to change. You want to talk about culture? Sales made me who I am today. Okay. Maybe a big mouth or whatever, but I'm a happy guy. I like being happy. And I want to share that the self-esteem, the confidence, the enthusiasm you can get by learning skills that allow you to communicate and be accountable to people. If that's what, and I call my system GUTS. The GUTS.
I love that name.
And it takes guts to be successful. You got to go against the status quo sometimes. You got a lot of negativity in your life or family, or people saying that won't work, don't do this and that and everything like that. It takes guts to stand out and try new things. Not to be reckless or anything, but to try and reinvent yourself constantly, to keep learning and growing. That's my culture.
Nice. You've gained a new fan. Divine Right is flying with comments there. She's saying, yes, this is very helpful because I'm working steadily on building my health and wellness coaching practice and getting my books more out there so I can work from home and do what I like to do more. Also to have more flexibility and be there for my son. It will happen one day because I have the passion.
Yeah. You want to always ask yourself, what are people going to say about me when I get off the phone? What's going to be their experience? Is this a good person? What's your legacy going to be? What are your children going to say about you when you're gone? Are you going to leave the earth in a better place? Did you take care of your responsibilities today? Did you enjoy this wonderful short little traveling time in space called life? And money does make life. It makes life a lot more convenient. It really does. You can do good things when you have money and you have your own business. That freedom thing. My wife and I volunteer a lot now. We have the discretion of time. We work I'm on the board of directors for the Lions Club, which helps people get seeing eye dogs and children get surgery. Right. We help to build a wonderful theater in Grand Lake, Colorado, brand new theater. So we have some arts here, the Grand Lake Repertory Theater. They'll get mad at me if I don't say it. It's over, but and we're able to do wonderful things with our time and help other people. That's the freedom that a good business can give you when you get away from financial constraints.
Nice. I'm going to bring up something here. I hope you can address how important in your business and in any home business is research.
I research every day. I go running every day. I'm a runner. You see behind me all those marathons and things. When I run every day, I listen to audiobooks. What's the name of that one company from Amazon? Audible. And
Audible.
I'm a big fan. I download books. There's free systems that you can use to download free books too, by the way. And I listen to books all the time. I read newspapers still, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times. I read local papers. I love listening to a podcast like yours. I learn stuff, and your podcast have opened up a world to me of different people's feelings and and what they're going through and stuff. I want to learn that. I want to appreciate other people's events and lives and struggles also. That helps me to be a better business person, maybe a better human being too. Podcasts,
I'm the same way with yours. I always, whenever I get on and watch any of your conversations, I learn a lot too. And I just sit there and just take it all in. And I'm saying I'm thankful that you provide you.
Yeah.
that's I was going to say a servant, but you provide you. You're not a servant. You provide you.
I'm on YouTube. I'm a YouTube fan.
Yes.
YouTube every day. I subscribe to a lot of people like you. I love following people who I think give me good advice, are interesting, they're entertaining, everything. I started my own YouTube page, I don't know how many years ago. And I have thousands of followers now, and I do all my 937 videos I've done. And I like to just share my story and the mistakes and the successes and things like that with people. And in retrospect, all this research and time studying and listening to other people has taught me how to utilize this different media for marketing. And this will be interesting for your viewers. Guess how much money I spend on marketing, Doctor?
I know, because I've heard you share this before. There you go.
I embrace social media like you do. I love going, and everybody should find, it doesn't have to be a Dr. Vibe podcast or a Claude Diamond YouTube. It can be pictures on, it can be live periscopes. It can be Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. It could be Instagram, sharing pictures if you're a painter or something, or whatever hobby you do. And this media, if you can put out compelling content on a consistent basis, you can build your home business. People will follow you. They want to listen and see what's the next thing he's going to say or do. And they feel like they know you now. You've broken through the barrier, and they want to do business with you. They'll buy your books and your products and your services because they feel there's a connection now.
I know this word is used a lot, especially when it comes to home business, but the word balance.
A life-work balance that everybody says?
Yeah. Like, what are your thoughts when you hear that sort of terminology?
Everybody has their own balance. I love what I work. My work is great, but I also want to have a life. I wanted to have enough time with this wonderful woman. I'm 33 years we've been married. Okay.
Congrats.
I want to have time for her. You got to work at a marriage. You got to have time for that. That's balance. You want to raise good kids. You got to work at that. You can't just throw them into school and say, okay, that's it, and give them mac and cheese once in a while. You got to spend time with them, throw the ball around, and do stuff with them. There is a balance, and I like to have fun too. I run every day. I run every day 10 miles. I swim every day. I'm a health exercise nut. Because I want to stay strong, and so I can keep up with my younger clients like you. And so I love doing that part of my life. I love going meeting with friends, so being social and things like that. I think that's the balance. If you study, what do they call it? The blue zones.
Yeah.
I forget the guy's name, that a wonderful author wrote The Blue Zone. The people in Japan, that one island, I always forget the name of that one island. They live to be, there's more centenarians there in that one island off of Japan. I'll think of it in a second. And they have the balance there. They love to work and do their own little farms and stuff. They're very sociable. They have a little bit of spirituality, and they have this perfect, and they live to be 100 years old in good health till their last day. Who doesn't want that?
The book, is it The Blue Zones, written by Dan Butner?
That's it, The Blue Zone, and it's the Okinawa Diet, which was another book about these people. I love studying people in longevity and different things. There's one YouTube video. There's one gentleman. He's an Indian, a Sikh gentleman, and I think he ran a marathon at 101 years old.
You're kidding.
It's on YouTube. It's a wonderful video.
Wow.
And I told you I love you. And he eats very healthy. He eats very sparingly. He believes in meditation and exercise. So I think that's part of. I study other people's lives and their balance. And I think everybody has to find what works for them.
Absolutely.
To me,
Divine Right. Yeah, Sean is saying 0 on marketing, ! And then Divine Right is saying, wow, he said $0. She says, that's my gap. It's the marketing, and I need to do it more since there are free platforms to do it on.
Oh, yeah. I watch other people. There's one young lady on YouTube. Her last name is Oleander, a young girl, 17, 18, 19, and she loves to paint. And she used to do she did videos on Periscope and now YouTube on painting. She's now selling her paintings for $50,000 each. She's a young woman. Wow. Fashion and marketing, put it together. It's brilliant.
Love it.
Would you like to know my favorite video of all time?
Please do.
I think it's the most watched video on YouTube. It's a blind man on the street. You probably have seen this. And he has a little sign, I'm blind, please help. And a modern woman comes up, a businesswoman. She picks up his cardboard sign, turns it over, and she writes something on it, puts it back down by the blind man. All of a sudden, everybody's giving him money and everything. And she comes back to him later in the day, and he says to her, what did you do to my sign? And she says, I changed the words to change the meaning. And then the camera goes to the sign. It says, it's a beautiful day. I wish I could see it.
I think the video you're talking about is called The Power of Words, A Girl Changed a Blind Man's Day. Amazing.
Millions, hundreds of millions of hits.
Yeah, 1.3 million views.
And if if we can raise that kind of emotion, and that was made by a marketing firm in London. And part of my gut sales method is about finding that emotion in people. Just changing the words on a sign for a blind man went from nothing to his cup overflowing with money because it hit an emotional chord in people. I try to teach that by storytelling and asking questions and showing empathy to people in sales. It's $1 million skill.
And this is the benefits of having a great community like Claude does. The lady's name is Amanda Olander, Oleander. He provided that name on the chat room in YouTube. So thank you. That's again, when you develop a community, they'll help you when you don't know, when you need help. And there you go. It's a perfect example.
And brand yourself. Like you said, culture. Part of culture is branding yourself.
Yes. And actually, I was watching something this morning from one of my mentors, and I'm going to start using a new hashtag called Shift Culture.
I like that.
I like that. Shift. So one of my purposes now is to shift culture. So I'm going to start using that hashtag. I think it's a beautiful hashtag to use. I did put this down during our conversation, so I want to come back to it as time is beginning to wind down because I don't want to take you away from your wonderful bride.
She's out shopping somewhere.
Okay. You have always, from the first time I met you on the Blab platform, have always said that this is the best time to start a business. Why do you feel that?
Well, today we have wonderful communication devices. Okay. I go running every day. You know what? I don't carry this very heavy iPhone anymore. I don't take it with me anymore. You know what I take with me? an Apple Watch and some earbuds here. I talk to people while I'm running just through my wristwatch right now. I can communicate with people. I can text them. I can email them. I can touch people's lives by using social media marketing. In the old days, you know what I used to spend? I said I'd spend now $0 on marketing. I used to spend over $10,000 a month in the Stone Age for magazine and newspaper articles.
10 grand.
10 grand, 120,000 plus a year. Honestly, because how did we communicate? How did we advertise? Newspapers, magazines, radio ads, signs. Some of that is still applicable today, but anybody can start a business. This is why it's so great. Everybody has an iPhone. I call it the remote controlled device to the universe. If you have an iPhone, an iPad, a laptop, I have all three. You can get your message about your product or service out through a variety of different media methods today. You're on Get Vocal. You know, we were talking about the old days of what was it, Blab and. And all that stuff. And Tashi is on, she's wonderful on Periscope and everything. I like Periscope too. And anybody who has Wi-Fi, who has a phone, who can go into a Starbucks or a library. Libraries have free computers and free Wi-Fi, and can go in there and put out some content on Facebook, Twitter, any kind of social media, and say, I have something of value. I have something that can solve a problem. I have something that can make your life better or entertain you. I have a widget. I have real estate, whatever. I could coach you or sell or mentor you. And you can put that message out there and you touch people with your stories by giving. You now have your own marketing company. How much? You couldn't do that years ago. You would have to spend tons of money to attract people, or you had to put things in the mail. People are still doing it today. The thing I discovered is, but guess what? I have 2 millennial children. Guess what they don't do? They don't go to the post office.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
I still do.
Yeah. My mom, we helped my son move one day, and we went to his post box, and all this mail came out. And some of it was a gift card. Mom mailed him a little gift card to Starbucks from 3 months ago. It was still in his box. They don't go to the post box.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
They don't go to the post office. It's not in their culture. They don't want to waste time with all that stuff when they can send instant emails and things like that. There's downsides to that too. We talked about that. The ability to communicate one-on-one with people is still, to me, a very important skill, whether you're selling cars or whatever.
What are some of the core things you feel today? If I was just getting into the home business marketplace, what are some of the core things you would say to someone like myself or other people who are considering, who want to make that jump? What are some of the core questions or some core things you'd tell them to get them going, or what to do it right?
Well, we talked about one thing. Find something that you believe in that offers people value, product or service, cars or life insurance. I work with people in all different areas. Find something that you enjoy, that you know is honest and gives people good value, and on a practical side, compensates you. I say something very controversial in my sales books. I think the salesperson comes first, which is a lot of people don't have to agree with everything I say, but I believe that someone who works hard, gives good value, does business honestly, it deserves to be compensated for their efforts. It's okay we don't have to feel guilty about getting paid and taking care of our family and responsibilities if we give people good value. So you need those things. You need to give people value so they see that value in your service. I love customer service. I work with companies that sometimes cost a little. I have Apple products here. My daughter works for Apple, but before she worked for Apple, I always had Apple products for one reason. They answer their phone for customer service and technological support. I like people who give me value. They stand behind their products. I use Verizon. I think you have Rogers and stuff up there where you live.
Yep.
But I use Verizon because, and it's not a commercial for Verizon. They give good. I dial their little 611 number and I get customer service right away. I get someone who helps me with a problem, with a bill or a technological. So I'm big on giving people value and customer service. At the end of every one of my videos, I say, call me. I answer my own phone. Nobody does.
He does. He does. It's very true. He does.
And what's the method behind that madness, doctor?
But you know what? You tell people and you back it up. You're inviting people to call you.
Yeah.
So you're breaking the barriers. People want, as you said, more and more people just want to be listened and heard. They don't feel like they're being listened and heard. And if you can't get your potential client past that, that's not, you're not going to have success. One thing I also use with my clients when I'm especially in a negotiation, I ask the question, is that fair? Because if they don't feel that they're being treated fairly, you're not going to be able to move to the next point with them. And Claude is a master person. And I've seen him do live calls. And people say, oh, he's promoting. Yeah, because he's good at what he does, and he's taught me. I'm a disciple, basically. And the way he progresses in a conversation, he doesn't leave the client behind. So I would say to people, whether you're in a business or running your own business, don't leave your client behind, especially if you're in a home business, because even more that's going to hit your bottom line if you leave them behind.
The analogy I use when I'm training sales and making connections with people is to be the doctor in the room. What does a doctor do? If you're my doctor, okay, let's say you're a physical physician, and I come in to see you. You haven't seen me in years, and I come in to see you. What's the first thing you're going to say to me, Dr. Vibe?
How you been feeling? How's your health?
Doctor, my neck is bothering me a little.
How long has this been going on for?
Beautiful. Off the role play, do I mind you asking me those intrusive questions?
No, because, hopefully, and I guess, for me, if you have the doctor cares and he wants you to be better. So he wants you to move from where you are to a better place.
He cares. There's trust.
There you go.
When you have like Dr. Cialdini in psychology of persuasion, he talks about many different things, consistency, social proof, authority, scarcity, and all that. And you know what's the number one reason why someone will buy from you and do business with you today? Likability.
Yeah.
They like you. Guess what happens when people like you? It leads to trust. When you have trust, in a blank check.
I've had the same mechanic for over 20 years. I've had the same dentist for over 20 years. I've had the same doctor for over 20 years. Why? Because I know they care and they look out for my best interests.
Even if they charge more money or you have to drive a little further, does it?
Don't care. My dentist is all the way in downtown Toronto. I cannot stand going to downtown Toronto, but he makes his hours work around my hours, so it's not as much a challenge. They know that I like to come there on a Saturday morning when there's not that much traffic. So every time I finish an appointment with my dentist, he knows that the next time I'm going to see him is on a Saturday morning, and he already has a date sort of circled. Can you make it on this Saturday morning at this time? So bam, he's already one step ahead of me. I don't have to get stressed out.
Exactly. You know, a lot of people come to me. One of the objections is they have, oh, my competition is cheaper, or this or that. And I always go to them, nobody wants the cheapest heart surgeon in the world.
So true.
You don't. Price is never an objection to doing business if the perception of value is there. If the person you're doing business with, you feel their product, service, and them can help you solve your problem, you'll pay more. There's a lot of people driving very expensive cars in the world today. They drive it because of maybe status that they need, or perception when they're in business, or they want a greater safety features or something like that. It's so much about, one of the other words I like to use is consistency. Are we consistent in the value we give people? Do we follow up with them? Do we just take the money and run? Or every person I speak to, doctor, I send a personal video to, audio or video to. Just, hey, Dr. Vibe, what a pleasure to be on your show today. I had a great time. You have a wonderful audience. I want to give everybody who goes to my webpage, ClaudeDiamond.com, a free copy of my book. All they got to do is type in where it says free book and say, I love Dr. Vibe. And it was a pleasure to be on your show again today, doctor. And they just have to go to ClaudeDiamond.com. And I will send a video, and you see how seductively I slid in my little thing there. But I just want to be consistent and give value.
You know, and I know we're coming to the top of the hour, and I know you wanted to get out the top, and it's so true. And
we had nothing to talk about tonight either. Oh,
No, that's why there's going to be more conversations. Claude, come on now. You know I'm a good salesman. I want to teach you to come back to some more. One of the key things, too, is what Claude said, sending a note, saying thank you. It's the little things that make a difference. It's not the big things.
Great story.
Like when... Go ahead, please.
Sorry, I'm talking over you. I apologize.
No, go ahead. No, we're good. We're good.
Last story. I know time's short. One of my clients, very successful commercial real estate salesman and manager in New York City, very Fortune 500 company. One of my clients, and he said, Claude, what do you do to how do you follow up with a client? You had maybe it wasn't the best conversation in the world. What do you do? How do you follow up? And I said, how old was the client? He said he was a gentleman and a very successful CEO in his 60s. I said, this is what you do right now. You get a little thank you card you put a stamp on it. You're going to have to go to the post office and you're going to write him a little note saying what a pleasure it was to meet with him and write a few personal notes on there. And he sent this to the gentleman. It turned out to be the biggest sale of the year for his company because the CEO called him back and he says, you know what he said to him? Nobody does this. Nobody. I haven't had a note from anybody in a long time. I was so impressed that you sent me this. I had to call you back. Sometimes just those little moves.
Yep. And I'm gonna condense into a 45-second story. Then I'm gonna let Claude go. What's the lady's name? I think it's a lady named Linda Thayer, and she's former marketing account exec, high level. And she mentioned a story many years ago. She was working with a client, and they were going in for a big deal, really big deal with a big company. It was like the biggest account they ever were going to land. And actually, the client was coming to their office, and client comes in, takes the elevator, greeted by the elevator guy. How's your day? Who you here to see? Oh, I'm here to see Linda. Well, Linda, she's a fantastic lady. So he goes into the office. Linda Thayer says, okay, do you want, I guess we're going to have a long negotiation. He says, no. He said, I want to sign the deal now. And she goes, why? He says, by what your elevator man said about you, I don't need to ask any questions.
Wow.
Right? So, and as Claude has said, treat people with respect and fairness. Yeah. and he does that with his clients that I've seen through and through, and it will always be the shining light through and through.
Can I tell one more quick story?
Absolutely.
Another client I had, also a very successful salesperson, and he says, Claude, and we do these little mentoring sessions every week with my clients. And he said to me, Claude,
and they are great people. They are really good.
We try to have a lot of fun at the same time, And I do a lot of role playing all the time, like we did before. I like to keep it real in practice. I'm big in practice. I think is real important to be successful in your skill sets. But this one client, he said, Claude, what do you do? I just got off the phone with a manager at a company, and he hung up the phone on me. What do I do? What do you do when someone hangs up the phone on you? And I said, will you wait a while and you have the guts to call him back? He says, I don't know if I can do that. I said, no, you have to do it. This is your life. You call that person back and you apologize if you did something wrong or something like that. So he says, Claude, he called me back the next day. He said, Claude, I waited a couple hours. I called the man back at the end of the day. And I said, Mr. Smith, I felt that we ended very badly. And I just wanted to find out or apologize what I did wrong. The manager said, no, it was me. It was a bad day. You called at the wrong time. It's been bothering me all day that I hung up on you. You come into my office and we'll talk. I'm the one who should apologize.
Wow.
He made a sale too, by the way.
Yeah.
I like happy endings. I'm a romantic.
Yeah, well, and just one other thing too, I will share with people. I don't like it when people say they have bad days. I think we just have bad moments. I don't think we have bad days. I think we have bad moments. So on that, Claude, again, thank you so much for taking time out of your positive productive schedule. People, Follow him. He does a lot of stuff on Twitter. He does a lot of stuff on YouTube. His website is ClaudeDiamond.com. Go there. And Claude, how can people get the free book again?
It's the first book I wrote. It's a story about a guy from rags to riches. It's free for all my Dr. Vibe fans.
I'm going to get one too. So I'm going to beat all of you.
Go to ClaudeDiamond.com. That says free book. You type in there, put your email in there, and there's a little note placed there. You have to say, I love Dr. Vibe.
Okay. Well, I'll say I love myself. And where's the best place people can check you out? Is it Periscope? Is it the website? Google. Just put Claude Diamond.
All they got to do is type in Claude Diamond. Your audience is so intelligent. I don't have to hit them with a commercial. They'll find.
There you go. Well, I'd like to thank everyone who watched this conversation. Number one, Divine Right. She says customer service is so key and is lacking in a lot of businesses. Thank you cards go a long way. She says, I buy accessories and shirts from a vendor, not only because I love her products, but her customer service and her thank you cards. It means a lot. And she goes, yay for free. You're awesome, Claude. The convo was epic and very appreciated. Sean Osby says, good show, guys. Also want to thank on the Periscope side, Dryer Buzz, Kathy Y, Tara L. Page, especially Dryer Buzz for sharing it with all her audience. Thank you so much. On the Get Vocal platform, we had Jim Bob, who watched for most of the conversation. I encourage you folks to follow this man, get mentorship from this man, at least get the free book from his website. You can't go wrong there. I am Dr. Vibe, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show. I'd like to say thank you for watching this live. As always, I sign off with these things. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Next up, sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions. And my final thing is aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Really appreciate you guys coming out on a Saturday. God bless, peace be well, and keep the faith.
Thank you for everything.